All right, so look, man, somebody asked me the other day what was the most messed up or cruel thing I've ever seen a guard or correctional officer do while I was in prison. And I gotta be honest, man, I done seen some officers do some pretty wild shit over the years, so it was kind of hard to get a take on, what was absolutely the meanest. But I mean, I do, however, have one particular incident that comes to mind. You see, when I started my bid out, right, I was sent out to the western region of Virginia. That's out there in the mountains is what we call it. You know what I mean? That's where, the super maxes and all the maximum security spots are. Talking about like Red Onion, Wildest Ridge, King Mountain, River North, Pocahontas, Augusta. You see the guards out there, man, they different. And what I mean by that is they mostly like hillbilly type, tobacco chewing, chain smoking, keg drinking, racist inbreds, that most likely are commonly related by blood, a lot of them. They ain't got no problems putting hands and feet on you if you get out of line. Crazy thing about that shit is, even though they make it painfully obvious that they can't stand black folks, they ain't even got no issues putting a white boy in his place and stomping him out with the same ferociousness as they do with the blacks. You know what I'm saying? And out there, they keep dogs that be on a leash too. And I ain't referring to no drug sniffing canines. I'm talking about attack dogs that go off on demand. And they like to equip them with these metal fangs that go over the top of their teeth for whatever reasons. I don't know if that's just to look crazy or intimidating or just to really cause extreme pain and damage when they bite down on your ass. Anyway, so when I first got out there, they want to strip you ass naked in front of everybody who rode the bus with you. And then y'all be standing on the line, nuts to butts, while they take you through the procedure one by one of, coughing, squatting, spread them, lift your sack, open your mouth, stick your tongue out, all that type of shit. In front of everybody else, grown ass men. It's totally humiliating, frustrating, and disgusting, among other things. Anyway, it was this big ass white boy on the bus who was talking a whole lot of shit, about what he ain't gonna do and how they can't make him do shit and why they ain't stripping him in front of a whole lot of other inmates, whole lot of huffing and puffing and shit, being a real tough guy. So when it was his turn, to get stripped, he started putting up a bunch of resistance. So at first, it looked as if the guards was just gonna rough him up a little bit, take him down and, do what they do. Which honestly probably wouldn't have been too bad comparing to what they wound up doing to the dude. Now, one of the guards, I think he might have been a sergeant or lieutenant or whatever, because I could tell he had some rank. And he told the other officers to let the white boy go into this adjacent room where he didn't have to be in front of all of us getting naked. So, we all looking at each other like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? How they gonna let this dude get special treatment or whatever? Oh, I know why, because he a white boy. That's what we was thinking. So anyway, two of the officers, they went in the room with the white boy and then proceeded to do the initial strip search. When they was done though, they left that white boy in the room ass naked. Next thing you know, two more officers show up and they come through the door, each holding one of them dogs that I mentioned earlier. Man, that sergeant opened up that side room door, man, and them officers let go of them leashes, let them dogs run up in there on that white dude while he was in there ass naked. And then they closed the door behind him. You know what I mean? All we could hear outside was the dogs growling and barking, tearing and chomping and chewing on this dude while he was screaming to the high heavens at the top of his lungs. I was like, God damn, yeah, he got some special treatment for sure. Me and everybody else was all looking at each other as to say, like, where the hell did we just get to? You know what I mean? So yeah, that was probably one of the meanest and cruelest things I've seen officers do to somebody. The moral to the story is, man, I don't care how tough you think you are, and at the end of the day, if you don't want to witness or let alone experience some shit like this, I suggest you just stay the fuck out of prison.